5 minutes. Also, get off your phone. Yeah, get off your phone. Get off the picture where you're going with your phone.
Can't they just upload want to do a sound check? Or? Yes. So testing, 1, 2. This is normal volume, and then if I go louder, it sounds a bit like this, but yeah, it's good. Is there room to put something? I don't know if they'll put this off the side here at the equalizer. So it's up to what you can see.
First round of the NPL 1 men's competition. Scott FC versus Sydney FC, our neighbours from Macquarie Park. Team lineups for tonight. Number 1, Chris Marquez. Number 2, Kaya Williams. Number 4, Brady Smith. Number 6, Corey Kavanagh. 7, Frankie Lukovic. 8, Captain Sabi Grant Cornwall. 9, Neil Okubo. 10, Mikey Conestado. 13, Simon Nicholas. 19, Zane Alawaria. Number 22, Takumi Ofuka. On the bench we have Anthony Yunus, Jordan Perez, Marco Adamasic, Jamie Persiveski, Lincoln Gilmore, and Christopher Chen from the under-18s. CFC we have number 5, Corey Cronin, 6, Tyler Williams, up against his brother. 8, Reef Fadias. 9, Matthias McAllister. 10, Ty Headley. 14, Jared Middleton. 18, Owen Harbass. 25, Noah Matthew. 27, Lachlan Middleton. 29, Joey Lacey.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us here at the live tab on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. We're back for another wonderful season covering the NPL Men's New South Wales competition. We're at Macquarie Park for what is very much a derby of this suburb. It is Northwest Sydney Spirit versus Sydney FC Academy. Eric Subihano here, absolutely delighted to be starting what is personally my 6th season in the Football New South Wales commentary team. And this match, it's two teams that faced up actually in round 1 last year, with David Perkovic's Spirit up against Jimmy Van Buren's Sydney FC. So quickly, as we go through the pre-match festivities, let's go through the lineups. Firstly, for Northwest Sydney Spirits, In goal, number 1, Chris Marquez. Then number 3, Kyle Williams. Number 4, Brady Smith. Number 6, Corey Kavanagh. Number 7, Frankie Lukovic. Number 8, the Spirit captain, Grant Cornwell. Number 9, Yu Okubo. Number 10, Michael Conestabo. Number 13, Simon Nicholas. Number 19, one of the new Spirit signings, Zain Alawalia. And number 22, Takumi Ofuka. Now for Sydney, their lineup is as follows, at least the starting lineup. In goal, number 40, Sandy Zavadinos. Then number 5, Corey Cronin. Number 6, Tyler Williams, Kaya's brother. Number 8, Reef Farias. Number 9, Matthias McAllister. Number 10, Tay Headley. Number 14, Jared Middleton. Number 18, the Sydney captain, Alan Harbas. Number 25, Noah Matthew. Number 27, Jared's brother, Lachlan Middleton. And number 29, Joe Lacey. So, as we see in front of us, Football New South Wales photographer Dan Ullman getting lineup photos. Very important thing for the media to do at the start of the season. But anyway, the 2 sets of substitutes for Spirit. The backup keeper is, I believe, Christoph Chen, promoted from the under-18s for this game. And the others on the home bench, Anthony Younis, Jordan Perez, Marko Arambasic, Jamie Pasevsky, and Lincoln Gilmore. While on Sydney's bench, the backup keeper is Jacob Kremen-Cowan. And the other bench options for the Sky Blues, Joseph Kalisic, Nicholas Alfaro, Jay Maltz, Junior Conde, and Dylan Rose. This competition, we've already had 2 completed games in this round. Last night, up in the Northern Beaches, Manly United defeating Central Coast Mariners Academy by 5-0. And earlier today, at the ground colloquially known as the Rudy Hill Turf Farm, it was Western City Wanderers drawing 1-1 with Mount Druitt. And that's another local derby. But this one, it's now this one that we're paying attention to, as there's the whistle. Away we go. And with Sydney FC in their away kit of all white, white shirts and white shorts for this game. Sydney FC based literally down the road at Sky Park. So this is very much a local derby, or as I like to call it, the Macquarie Park Melee. Of course, Spirit in the traditional colours for rep teams from this region, dating back to the old Gladesville Hornsby Football Association. And Spirit with the gold jerseys, the black shorts, and the gold socks. Or stockings, as for some reason they're known in the laws of the game. Now, Sydney trying to play out from the back. It's broken for Conestabo, and that is an excellent tackle from, I think that was Lachlan Middleton, before it's scooped forward. So it was an exciting start to this competition last night with the team that is the junior club of quite a few Sydney FC players, Manly United, really making a statement after their mid-table finish in 2024. It was a great start. It was a great start for Patrick Svanswijk's side. And by the way, he's a ball over the top. And now Okubo, left side of the box for Spirit. He's got the supporting run, possibly from Simon Nicholas. He has cleverly, with a back heel, won the corner off Tyler Williams. And it is the first corner of the game. So, well, it was a warm one at the start in the morning and the early afternoon, but this ground, lovingly known as the Arctic Circle, and that's not a joke, because right on cue for round 1 of the season, from about an hour before kickoff, it started cooling down. There's now breeze and a little bit of a drizzle as well. The corner comes in swinger, and that'll be off Sydney for a second corner. So Corey Kavanagh, take 2 for him from the flag. Kavanagh now, as he signals and assesses his options. This one again aimed near post and headed out. So the young Sky Blues defending well against the set piece in the early stages. By the way, apologies if Mike's pick up this up, but of course the start of the men's season is also women's trial. There's also women's trials time, and there's actually behind us NPL women's trials between the Spirit women's team and the Western Sydney Wanderers Academy. As Kavanagh skips past 2 players across the box, Conestabo finds space and scores! And Michael Conestabo giving Spirit the dream start in 2025. It was Kavanagh with the assist. Conestabo had drifted into a pocket of space, And the left foot shot is unerring into the bottom corner. Spirit leading by 1-0, not even 3 minutes on the clock. And Chris Marquez, you can see what that means to Spirit. He's run the length of the field to join in on the celebrations. And David Perkovich, the Spirit coach, very much a meticulous planner, but even I suspect he might not have predicted a goal to come this early. But what a start for 2025 for Spirit. And it's Spirit's number 10, giving them very much a 10 out of 10 start. Tyler Williams now for Sydney. Decent ball, and then a quick feed. Sydney's first real attack, and now it's out wide to McAllister. McAllister stopped by a great tackle, and Kai Williams now very strong, letting the officials know about it as well, wins the free kick. Now, one of the things I love about Spirit games, and to the right of our filming position, Spirit really trying to build a whole of pop culture, really a family culture here in Macquarie Park. There's Spirit juniors chanting and with their signs. And it's one of the things we love to see across all the Football New South Wales competitions, is the youth supporting the seniors, as that goes long and out of play, and that nearly threatened the position of the Football New South Wales reporter for this game, Justin Smith, but I think the ball's just missed him. Sydney attack down the right again. Decent ball, just out of reach from McAllister. Cornwell, Spirit captain, has sent that into the crowd. Afuka. It's Kavanagh who's been crowded out there. Corey Kavanagh, of course, new season means teams try to freshen things up. And Corey Kavanagh, a man who can play in a few different positions. We're interested to see how he's used this season. As it's Farias. And now Farias helping win the touch. Off Spirit for the throw-in, but they might have broken it up. There's a handball shout which is ignored. Farias again for Jared Middleton. 5.5 minutes on the clock. Eric Subihana here, calling from the Arctic Circle. Where else would I be calling a game? Let's be honest. But it is round one of the 2025 NPL Men's New South Wales competition, and Spirit leading by 1-0, courtesy of Michael Conestabro. And I believe, if the memory serves me correctly, this will be Conestabro's 5th season in black and gold with Spirit. And very often he's been the man to make the difference. He scored in the 2022 Waratah Cup final that Spirit won as a second-tier team at the time, making history by being a second-tier team to win the New South Wales knockout competition. And another big goal for Spirit's number 10. Harbas dropping deeper, now trying to link with Cronin. And there's a good tackle from Alawalia, tracking back to the defend. Zane Alawalia, of Spirit, like Corey Cronin of Sydney FC. Those two were at Manly United last year. And if you ask me which of the Sydney FC Academy players are Manly United juniors, the easiest answer is probably just to say yes. Now, Kai, look. Yeah, I knew I'd get that wrong. It's Tyler Williams, not his brother Kai. His brother Kai plays for Spirit. Now, Jared Middleton. This is an absolute minefield for commentary mistakes. We've got the two Williams and the two Middletons out there at the same time. Now it's Matthew. Plays the pass, links with Lachlan Middleton. Headley, with quick feet to keep possession. Of course, this is what you'd expect from the A-League Academy, some of the best young players in the country. Can move the ball quick and play it in tight spaces, and it's Simon Nicholas who will win the throw. So, action-packed 7.5 minutes to open this season. At least open this season as far as Spirit and Sydney are concerned. Lukovic wanted the free kick. He's not getting anything now. Is that Harbas? He's stopped by Cornwell. That is an excellent tackle from a man who's played, I think he's closing in on 400 games for Spirit, Grant Cornwell, if you can believe that. As another good run from Conestabro. Now the long-range shot, saved at the near post by Zavadinos. Drops on the ball. And I think just a little hand signal from Sandy Zavadinos telling his teammates to settle before he rolls it out quickly. I think we might be able to hear David Perkovic shouting out the instructions. It's Akubo leading the press. Now Jared Middleton to find Headley. And Cronin was high up the field. This might get to Harbass, but instead it is covered by Brady Smith. And Brady Smith, and hey, of course, big shout out to the people writing the articles for Football New South Wales. Brady Smith back in the country. He's actually very familiar to these state comps. I remember him quite well quite a few years ago now, Brady Smith playing for Bonnyrigg. But he's, I believe, spent time recently in Cambodia, and Smith's back in Australia now. Part of this, some familiar faces, but a reasonably new look Spirit team for 2025. And now, interesting, because I did say, as there's the defensive header, and then Alawalia up against his former Manly teammate, Cronin. Does keep it in, and then Connor Starber with a neat flick, but not quite on the same wavelength as Uakubo. You'll get that sort of stuff early in the season. His team still haven't quite 100% gelled, understandably. There's a nice idea from Connor Starber. Now Middleton to Middleton there. Jarrett to Lachlan. And now it's Cornwell taking the initiative to break up the pass. And now Smith got the ball. And 4 forward for this Spirit attack is Connor Starber. Connor Starber shoots from range, straight at Zavadinos. Now, yes, David Perkovic, a man not afraid to change formation. I'm looking at this. This is, at least in these first 10 minutes, this is different to what we've seen for, say, the previous 3 seasons. There's Alawalia up against Cronin. That's going to be a fascinating battle. Cronin's kept it in. Now, what's the decision? The decision is corner. First corner for the visitors in this game. Good run from Cronin, starting at left back, but he's gotten forward plenty of times already. Now, it's possibly a decent chance for Sydney to find an equalizer. Now, is normally the case, at least since the A-League academies came into NPL Men's New South Wales and the tiers below from 2016 onwards, normally A-League academies have a height disadvantage. Not this Sydney team. There's quite a few big lads here to aim for with this corner. And it's a good ball as well. A strong header away. Lachlan Middleton spins. And he's outnumbered there. Connor Starber trying to lead the counter. One to chase, but that is covered. And Corey Cronin, who is very, very fast, got there ahead of Fuka. Lacey now dropping between the centre backs. Now they've found the room for Farias, right hand side. Farias looking for Matthew. That's covered by Kyle Williams. Williams, decent ball off Connor Starber's chest, and here's Okubo. That's out and into the Sydney technical area. But I must say, while there is the threat of rain, and Justin Smith showing me a rather threatening radar, the rain radar, about 15 minutes before kickoff, but at least so far I'm glad for the temperature drop, because, as you know, it is the case, especially long-time A-League watchers, whether that's the women's or the men's comp, will be aware of it. And this time of year, you can have games played in quite warm conditions, which does affect the tempo, but it cooling down as Alawalia screams for and gets the ball. It cooling down. We could get some pretty high-tempo football, especially for round 1 with the start of February. It's early days yet. As Kyle Williams decides to go back to Marquez. Marquez up towards Nicholas. Good header from Farias. Now, up there as Lacey plays it forward. It's headed back. That's a good ball to Okuba, and Okuba off the outside of the foot, which curls it right into Alawalia's path. That's a nice ball. Now Alawalia almost to the edge of the box. Afuka, that's great work. He might cross. Cut back, the dummy. Conestavo, it's blocked, and that would have been possibly an early contender for goal of the season. Long-range shot which goes over, but how clever was Frankie Lukovic? The American who played college soccer in Gonzaga. And now he's on our shores. But he would have been well within his rights, Lukovic, to pull the trigger as Iwakubo thought the little rollout to place the ball for the goal kick was the actual goal kick. But anyway, we're back underway. But about that dummy from Lukovic, he could have shot, but at the great awareness, Conestabo probably gave a shout. And Sydney getting a body in the way to prevent Conestabo doubling his and Spirit's tally for the game. About 14 minutes played here at the Arctic Circle. Not quite Arctic, well, conditions here. Well, not yet anyway, although this venue does have a reputation. But anyway, Spirit leading Sydney by a 1-0. Goal in the 3rd minute from Michael Conestabo, assisted by Corey Kavanagh. Now, the round 1 rustiness is, of course, understandable, not just for players, also the commentators. I just realized I've forgotten to write down the officials' names, and given that these were actually provided to me the day before, that's actually, yeah, that's a bit of a misstep. I will give a shout out to the 3rd team, of course. You can't have organised football without match officials. Cronin skips past Lukovic. Now as Lachlan Middleton's allowed to turn. That's nice work. Cronin. Now Lachlan Middleton. Tries the switch. Out to Matthew. Matthew playing it back to Lacey. Lacey past the challenge. Lacey tries to dink it in. And Brady Smith with a nice header, which is more than a clearance. It's a pass to Afuka. Takumi Afuka, I'm very impressed by Spirit's off-season recruitment. Both him and Iwakubo, great signings. And here's Okubo on the ball now with Conestabo charging into the middle. That's a great tackle right inside the box. Just inside the box from Jared Middleton. Had to be spot on, and he was. Now Headley. And now it's Kavanagh for Spirit. Gets it back. Kavanagh. And as Okubo's going to battle with it against Cronin. He's done brilliantly to the byline, but Cronin is a fierce competitor. And this battle's still going. After all that, goal kick. Right, well, I better get this 3rd team shout out done. So in the center with the whistle, is Hayden Langholz. The assistant nearest to us is Lindsay Edmonds. The assistant on the far side, or the scoreboard side of the Arctic Circle, is the brilliant young official who gave me the match officials yesterday. That's Alana Zick. Good to see a fellow Hillshire resident on this game. Thanks, Alana. But the 4th official is Declan Woods, and actually we could give a shout out to this man as well, because he's the only man I ever see listed as a referee assessor. But I'll hold that thought as Lukovic shoots. It's just over, and Zavadinos pulled his hand out of the way. So good goal sense from the young Sydney keeper. He knew it was going over. But yes, referee assessor. When I look in the drill match centers, I only ever see Richard Baker as a referee assessor. I'm sure there's others, but he's the only one I ever see. But anyway, well done to you, Richard. Because of course the referees need to be held accountable as well. The flick from Conestabo doesn't come off. Here's Headley. And Headley, was he brought down? Yes, he was. Now, by the way, I believe, not sure if he's listening, but he has given me some info, so shout out to Lockie, a good supporter of the NPL New South Wales streams, especially the women's streams. The women's competition starting Sunday, the weekend of March 8th and 9th, but Lockie telling me that as this should run through to Marquez. Lockie telling me that Frankie Lukovic is an alumnus of Gonzaga University, which I believe is in New York State, which is also the home state of Frankie's home state. Good header there from Headley, but Harbas can't make it stick. Kavanagh out to Alawalia. Does look like, now that I've had about 18 minutes to look at how Spirit are lining up for the first time in 2025. Definitely 3 at the back for Spirit. And as a commentator, I unashamedly love central defenders, so what's better than 2 central defenders? Well, 3, obviously. 50% better, to be precise. Does look like the 4 at the back with the 2 centre backs and the 2 full backs for Sydney. Tyler Williams. Now Lacey. Furious, that's Furious, my apologies. Furious again, that's Joe Lacey. I got there in the end. Back to Tyler Williams. By the way, speaking of Hillshire shoutouts, I believe Tyler Williams is from Castle Hill, which is also the suburb I live in these days. So presumably that means Kai is also from Castle Hill, you'd think. I assume so. Off the chest from Akubo, he might play the pass to Lukovic. Another supporting run. Farias uses the body well. Now that is a long-range Shepherd trying to settle for the goal kick. Lukovic didn't give up on it. Now it's going to be a Spirit throw. Okay, so another mistake. Lockie corrected me. Gonzaga University is in Spokane, Washington State. Whoops. Oh well. That is a handball, I think, against Yu Akubo. And now so Lockie giving me more information. Gonzaga University. It's where Erin Healy of Adelaide United, the A-League women team, that's where she went to university. Has the ball over the top, and that will be dealt with by Smith and then Nicholas. But yes, anyway, the Adelaide United women's team, they're having a great season, up to eight games undefeated to club records. And I believe yesterday at Highmarsh Stadium they defeated Perth Glory by 3-0, and Erin Healy scored twice. As this does not break for Sydney. Cronin pressured, and then now Alawalia in possession. Ofuka, of course, making his Spirit debut. Really impressed me, Takumi Ofuka, whenever I saw him play for Wollongong Wolves. And he might be on the ball now, but coming across is Tyler Williams. By the way, to complete my thought on Erin Healy, if you're new to my commentary, yes, I do go on tangents a lot, but yes, big fan of Erin Healy, because Erin, the name, it means Ireland. So it's always good to see Ireland scoring goals. Well done to you, Erin. Another Gonzaga University alumnus, Jordan Thompson of the Sydney FC women's team. That is very tangentially related to this game. I was actually met Jordan Thompson's mum, as that's offside against Sydney. That's Jordan Thompson's mum. I met her actually at a recent Sydney A-League women's game, and she's a very big fan of a tattoo I got recently. My most recent tattoo. That's also a Sydney FC related tattoo, but that's another story. Good header from Jared Middleton. Now Headley pressed, and two number 10s going head to head there. Conestabo getting the better of Headley. Now it's Lukovic. Kai Williams stepping past the challenge. Good ball to Nicholas, who's found some space. And I think he thought about delivering early. He definitely thought about delivering early. But decided the order of the day. The order of the day is more patience, and of course that's the privilege Spirit have with the 1-goal lead, courtesy of Michael Conestabo. We're about halfway through the first half here. Farias goes direct, and the shout, and yes, Kyle Williams ducked out just in time, but perhaps it's the perspective we have here. I thought they might have, was getting a little bit worried. There could have been a collision, but good communication from Chris Marquez. One of my fun facts about Chris Marquez was an Australia Cup qualifier against Terrigal United of the Central Coast Association a couple of years ago now, where he actually got a run at centre forward. So players being rested for that game, and yeah, Chris Marquez living every goalkeeper's dream, because I've never met a goalkeeper who didn't fancy themselves as a forward. Short roll out to Smith. It's Nicholas and Connor Starbo, closed down by Tyler Williams. And as right beneath our filming position is Dan Ullman, just trying to get the best position for the wonderful shots, and keep an eye out on NPL New South Wales socials for this, all the posts, all the photos or match reports, highlight packages for this game and the other 7 games being played in NPL Men's New South Wales Round 1. So we've already had 2 completed games. So the did mention the 1-1 draw between the Wanderers and Mount Druitt earlier on. 3 p.m. kickoff, and a great job in commentary done, as always, by the People's Champion Nicholas Kutniak, with Justin Davies assisting with the match report as well. So, yes, if you've been following our streams for a while, it's very comforting, almost a copy and paste feel to the allocations. You've got myself and Justin Smith here at the Arctic Circle, Nicholas Kutniak working with Justin Davies somewhere at a game involving Mount Druitt. And one of the 5 p.m. kickoffs, more copy and paste there, because another one of our good friends, the clean-cut looking Dominic Cranidi, he's at Adensa Park. Where else would he be? Dom Cranidi doing the commentary and the match report, I believe, as the boys from Adensa Park, they host Sutherland Sharks. And the Sutherland fans would be hoping their club is more decisive with the ball today than they have been with their name. I don't know if you followed this, but they decided on a rebrand from Sutherland Sharks to just Sharks FC, and that rebrand apparently has not even lasted until round 1. So the message came out very late in the day, maybe yesterday or the day before, that they actually wanted to be known as Sutherland Sharks, but they'll keep their new logo. It's all very confusing. And then decision going Sydney's way. There was another 5 p.m. kickoff, so that was at Belmore Sports Ground. Sydney Olympic versus St George FC, 2 historic names in Australian football, as Harbash shoots from range and Marquez saves. But at Belmore Sports Ground, it is William Constantinidis, one of the most talented football media people in the country. It's not just commentaries, he does a lot of content for Channel 10/Paramount Plus and for Football Australia as well. I believe William Constantinidis, I believe, the only person to have done commentary for Football New South Wales and media for Football Australia. If my memory serves me correctly, that pass runs over for a goal kick. And we must check the old live score app and go around the grounds as well. Well, at Adensa Park, the entity from Sutherland Shire, whatever they're known as, they are leading the boys from Adensa Park by a 1-0. While at Belmore Sports Ground, it's 1-1 between Sydney Olympic and St George FC. So the 6 p.m. game in the NWS at Lambert Park, home of Sydney's best barista, that's just kicked off between RPL Leichhardt and Wollongong Wolves, and we can welcome a new rider to the team. So all the best to you, Katrina May, whoever you are. Hope to see you at a game soon. And might as well complete this with the rest of the games. So there's 2 7 p.m. kickoffs at Illingdon Sports Centre, home of some lovely Chavapi and about 500 jars of Ivar there at the Illingdon Sports Centre. But anyway, it's the defending premiers, Rockdale Illingdon, hosting St George City. And that is, as that'll be a Spirit forward, that is, man, I suppose we could probably just go first name only. You just call him Tony, because I believe the only Tony ever to call for Football New South Wales, Tony Salerno. He's commentary for Rockdale versus St George City. And I was looking at the roster. Brett Nielsen, another great photographer, so look out for shots of Rockdale versus St George City there. Brett Nielsen travelling up from the South Coast to do games in the Sydney metropolitan area. Thank you for your service, Brett. That decision goes Spirit's way in the final game. It's the match of the round. Also 7 p.m. at the Palace, Marconi Stadium. And it's Marconi Stallions versus a club they love signing players from. So that's obviously Marconi Stallions versus Blacktown City. And if you've been a fan of our content, as that is a Sydney FC throw, if you followed our content for a while, you know the match of the round comes with Instagram stories, so which feature the match commentators. So who better to call the match of the round than the man they call Pretty Boy, Alexander Molchanov. He's calling that game. Madeline Riley will have the match report for Marconi versus Blacktown. Wow, Madeline Riley riding a Marconi game, what a shock. And Damien Briggs will have the photography for that one. Fiercely fought battle in the midfield while I've been talking about all the other games, as Cornwall again taking the initiative up against Harbass. The ball almost holds up in the wind. Conestabile read the flight of the ball, but the flag's up on the far side from the Hillshire's own Alana Zick. And that's going to be offside against Michael Conestabile. Just wondering, yes. So thankfully there haven't been too many loud whistles on field 2, the field behind us, and I believe that's a women's under-23 trial between Spirit and the Wanderers. Yes, apologies if that you'd hear a stray whistle. That doesn't make sense, probably because it's you hear that's probably because it's on the other field. Now I'm hoping this drizzle stays as a drizzle, because my notes are starting to get wet. Well, what passes for my notes? Didn't write much, but it's what I had for today. Room to run for Farias. Early cross, headed away by Kyle Williams. Farias again to Headley, and now to Jared Middleton. And the Middleton's passing the ball. Oh no, I'm sorry, that's not Jared Middleton. That's not Lachlan Middleton playing the ball. Oh, okay. It's round 1. We've got a lot to learn. And that's a nice ball from Farias to Matthew. And Matthew cutting it back. That's Lachlan Middleton. Now, Farias again. With the cross and the good near post run, and could be up for grabs. Harbass, good first touch, but the second touch was there with Kyle Williams. And then Harbass commits the foul. So yeah, so no intent there from Harbass. He was swinging his boot to shoot, but Kyle Williams was too quick. In that instance, getting his toe in and then being fouled. So Eric Subihana here as we're past the half-hour mark here at the Arctic Circle. Spirit leading by a goal to nil over Sydney FC. In round 1 of the 2025 NPL Men's New South Wales competition. Early goal after less than 3 minutes from Michael Conestabile, and a shout out to any Sydney FC fans who might be staying at home for this one, not travelling to Moore Park for the A-League Men's Sydney Derby. And if you are such a Sydney FC fan, well, the timing of these games has worked for you, hasn't it? With this game kicking off at 5:30 and the A-League Men's contest at Moore Park between Sydney and the Wanderers set for 7:35. So hopefully it's a smooth transition from this game to the A-League Men's game. Should you be choosing to do that for your Saturday evening action, and it's a great choice that would be. Now broken up there by Cornwell. And Kavanagh leaves it for Kyle Williams. We might have a centre-back run here. Kyle Williams has overcooked the pass. Actually, more messages from Lockie, just expressing skepticism that I have actually prepared notes. Well, that skepticism is deserved, if I'm being brutally honest. Lachlan Middleton, and done well to win the free kick against Nicholas. Hey, shout out to Lachlan Middleton, wearing my favourite number 27. Also, so look at this Sydney FC kid a bit closer. Yeah, I think I could see the garment that they used to hold the GPSs. So they're wearing a very thin white garment. Sydney hoping more than most that we don't have heavy rain today. Now, will it be Headley with the outswinger or Corin with the inswinger? It's Headley with the right boot, underhits it. Might move up. Headley's going to give it a go. Sydney FC, they'll try and work the second phase. Have some better delivery, but that's an overhead pass from Matthew. Back to Nicholas, and Harbas has gone in late. And the card's going to be up. And Alan Harbas, the first player into the notebook. So Hayden Langholz. So Harbas had just committed a foul, so maybe that's played a part in the decision making. But there's a card for Alan Harbas. And Justin Smith noting, presumably, that as per the style guidelines for NPL Men's New South Wales reports, that's the booking in the 34th minute for the Sydney captain. We have Rebecca Gonzalez, I believe, that's on the field with the magic spray, but I think Simon Nicholas should be okay to continue after this brief stoppage. Of course, doesn't have to leave the field because a card has been shown. Anyway, while I see a Spirit physio, it's a reminder that of the broader Spirit family, and someone spent a lot of time here. Well, congratulations to Shannon Codd, who's done a lot of work with the Spirit women's program. Recently he's got a gig with the Perth Glory women's team. So Shannon Codd, owner of the best bearded Australian sport, you'll see him on the sidelines at a Perth Glory women's game. Well done to him. There's Nicholas now, he's back up and in the tackle. And of course Shannon Codd with the Perth Glory women's team, that does of course mean that he is linking up with the best looking coach in Australia, Stephen Peters. Now Lukovic ends up losing out Harbas. He hasn't taken it. He hasn't changed his game just because of the yellow card. And now Harbas trying to break the lines here with the run, but instead the ball goes wide by Lacey. Cronin, and Cronin, I think Alawalia has to get credit there. He's done just enough to put off Cronin, who then gave it a bit too much of a heavy touch. So just briefly, I mean, I love jumping ahead, but as we look ahead to round 2 for Spirit, they travel to Landon Stadium. Actually, you know what? I'm going to call that venue Gabby Stadium. Spirit are traveling to Gabby Stadium in 7 days' time for a 7 p.m. kickoff. They're away against Blacktown. So again, new Football New South Wales writer Katrina Mays on that one, and Damien Briggs will be doing the photography there at in Seven Hills. While for the Sydney Academy, their next game, as Tyler Williams sweeps up at the back. Tyler Williams sent off some nutmeg pass, I think. But Akubo's got it back anyway, and now Akubo again. Let Sydney do enough. Cornwell. Based on Mike's pick up. Anyone saying subby, that is the nickname for Grant Cornwell, Spirit captain. It's more good defending there. And then played forward towards Matthew. Now McAllister, tracked all the way by Kyle Williams. So here's Nicholas. And Nicholas, Sydney have won the throw-in off Ofuka. By the way, Sydney's next game, Sunday 16th of February, a 4 p.m. kickoff. That I believe that's at the Illington Sports Centre. Sydney are hosting the boys from Medenza Park. There's a bit of multi-ball here, so I'd rather this ain't a pinball machine, so someone better get rid of that second ball, and it's almost affected the actual play twice. But all's well that ends well. And I might need to rethink my old man references, because I did refer to a pinball machine, and I reckon every single one of these Sydney FC Academy players is too young to know what a pinball machine is. Nicholas wins the throw. And by the way, Sydney's game next weekend against the boys from Medenza Park. That'll be called by the Serbian Martin Tyler, Nikola Pozda, and Madeline Riley with the report for that one. Now, an accurate pass. Here's Alawalia. Alawalia can link up, but now there's a long-range shot straight at Zavadinos, and I think that was Lukovic again. No, sorry, that was Kavanagh. My apologies. Corey Kavanagh. Now Nicholas, well, he anticipated the pass. It's resulting in a Spirit throw-in right in front of our commentary position on halfway. I've loved the approach from both teams. They've looked to attack whenever possible. The tempo is good. And if this is what I can look forward to, if this is what we can look forward to, so it's not all about me. If this is what we can look forward to, good reflexes from Hayden Langholz there to duck out of the way. But we should be set for another good season, another great season of NPL Men's New South Wales. Of course, we've got, as Kavanagh overhits the cross, that'll be out for a goal kick. And of course, it's not just every game in NPL Men's New South Wales. We've got every game in the NPL Women's New South Wales competition, starting on the weekend of March 8th and 9th. We've got weekly matches of the round from the two second-tier competitions, League One Men's and League One Women's. So, I think... And can I just say, as the person who did the League One Women's Match of the Round schedule, I can tell you it's a very good schedule. So, excellent competition. One of my favourite competitions, the Women's Second Tier for New South Wales League One Women's. So, catch some of that action when that begins on Sunday, March the 9th. So, shout out to Justin Smith, the reporter for this game. Also, the Football New South Wales League One Men's reporter. He's compiled a similarly excellent schedule for League One Men's, and the first stream of that starts in about 15 minutes. It's MacArthur Rams versus Hills United down at Albert Butler, as there's the shot which is punched away. Marquez was probably swerving a bit. Marquez didn't feel like taking a risk with a ball that was probably slightly wet. It's a good punch from Marquez out for a throw-in. Now Afuko leading the press. Cornwell stepping in once again. And he's got to run down the right flank. Cooper's got the hand up, early ball, and it's off. Came to Tyler Williams at an awkward height. And it's looped up into Zavadinos' gloves. Good work from Cornwell once again. You can see why he's played hundreds and hundreds of games with Spirit. Now, Kaya Williams is late, and he's fouled Joe Lacey. Now Lacey going direct towards Harbas, and Harbas brings it down. Alan Harbas scores. It was a brilliant ball from Joe Lacey, and the Sydney captain has made it 1-1. The first touch was brilliant. The second touch wasn't bad either. We've got our equalizer here with halftime approaching.
Not good enough, lads. Come on!
Lacey's ball was excellent. Alan Harbas back from a stint overseas in Finland, I believe. And he's slotted straight into this Sky Blues team straight away. Didn't take him long to open his account for 2025. The breeze is good. It's always good to have a cooling breeze in February. Just one slight issue from my perspective, which doesn't bother any of you, but my notebook's flapping around. It's making it slightly harder to write down these notes. I do need to write down every goal scorer as it happens, because, well, my memory isn't getting any better, that's for sure. All right. Don't mind that, that's just the halftime whistle on field 2, I think. We'll have a Spirit a free kick. So So no clean sheets for either team in round 1 of 2025. But this game is setting up nicely for the remainder of this half and the second half. And that's what you want, especially in round 1. And it's clear that both teams back themselves to earn 3 points. Who will do so? Or will it be a draw? Of course, I suppose that's also possible. Good work from Smith there. Now down the touchline, he goes direct, but it's too... doesn't quite have the angle required to find Ofuka. And of course, Takumi Ofuka, watching him at this ground does remind me that Ofuka, when he was at Wollongong Wolves, he did score in a game known as the Miracle of Macquarie Park. It was a game Spirit FC were trailing, I believe, 2-0, 3-1, and they were 3-1, and they were trailing 4-2, entering second half stoppage time. As that's a nice ball, and there's the header from Matthias McAllister. And just like that, Sydney FC have turned it around. It was a wonderful pass. McAllister escaped the defence, has headed home. It is a header that his father Dylan would be proud of. And more importantly, he's given his team the lead. And it's great positional awareness from Sydney's number 9. Exactly what you want from someone wearing that number. Textbook downward header as well to put Sydney FC in front. There we go. Now, this really has made the rest of the game an interesting prospect. We're just about at first half stoppage time. As someone who calls a lot of games without a fourth official, I do actually need to remember to look at the fourth official in about what should be happening just about now, actually. The signal for time added on. Actually, or maybe it won't, because I don't actually see a subs board.
2 minutes left.
Okay, well, thankfully we're really close to this. 2 minutes, yeah. So, thank you, Declan Woods. 2 minutes time added on. Will there be one final chance before then? Smith. And that'll be Connor Starbo. As Fuka presses. To finish my thought about Takumi Ofuka, of course, he scored in. Did score in the what I like to call the Miracle of Macquarie Park. Spirit trailing 4-2, entering stoppage time, winning by 5 goals to 4. Somehow. A game where not only was the commentator, I actually had to operate the camera for a brief moment because the camera operator's batteries kept running out. It did end up with, firstly, a battery change, which didn't work. Great tackle from Kavanagh. Kavanagh might get to the edge of the box. He plays the pass. It's a good pass to Akubo, and Akubo with the finesse finish, or the finesse shot, which is cleared off the line by Jared Middleton. Yeah, I don't think we've seen the last of the scoring here. Great tackle from Nicholas. And Nicholas shielding the ball now as he spread it wide. Thrown in. Bit of a miss kick, but then he's done well to loop it off Akubo. And as I finish this story before halftime, yes, I had to operate a camera during a game once. A game that finished 5-4. Batteries running out. Yeah, an Uber being called to deliver a new battery, which meant the camera operator had to run from this scaffold to the car park to pick it up, so I had to operate the camera for a couple of minutes. That's the scariest couple of minutes I've had as a Football New South Wales commentator. Alawalia delivers. It's off the chest from Akubo. And then swept up, and that's the halftime whistle. And it's looking good so far for Sydney FC and Jimmy Van Buren, their coach, after a comeback late in the first half, because it is the Sky Blues in their white away kits leading by 2 goals to 1 as the teams head to the dressing sheds. It was Spirit who opened the scoring in the 3rd minute through Michael Conestabro. Goal assisted by Corey Kavanagh. It was late in the first half, the 42nd minute, when Alan Harbass, the Sydney skipper, equalised off a cross from Joe Lacey. And then only 2 minutes later, Matthias McAllister popped up in the box to give Sydney FC the lead. This is Eric Subihano. with the commentary for the Football New South Wales YouTube page. Thanks for your support of our 2025 competitions. We'll take a break of about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be back for the second half.
rounds. Sydney Olympic 2, St George Saints 1. Sydney United 0, Sutherland Sharks 2. Apia Tigers 1, Wollongong Wolves 1. And earlier today, Western Sydney Youth 1, Mount Druitt 1.
Started in like 2 minutes.
Welcome back to the second half of our coverage from the Arctic Circle NPL Men's New South Wales Round 1 for the 2025 season. Eric Subihano on the mic. Sydney FC leading Spirit by 2-1. We have also had a halftime substitution with number 5 Jordan Perez coming on for Spirit as they look to chase this game. Apologies, as those round 1 feels, we do not have a subs board here. So there's the whistle. Away we go. And the ball will go out for a Sydney goal kick. Yes, if you missed any of the action, of course, it's just as easy as loading up or going back on your YouTube stream to find whatever you want to see. But a brief summary of what's happened so far. Spirit took the lead in the 3rd minute by Michael Conestabro, assisted by Corey Kavanagh. Then 2 Sydney FC goals late in the first half are what see them in the strong position for now. Alan Harbas equalising in the 42nd minute, assisted by Joe Lacey. And then 2 minutes later, Matthias McAllister putting Sydney in front, also assisted by Joe Lacey. And the thought I always think when I see Matthias McAllister playing first grade is it's a Fuka with a good run, and the shot is wide of the goal kick. And Fuka, actually very good run. It didn't seem to be much on, but it was one turn, and then he was suddenly in a good shooting position on his stronger foot. The shot that goes wide. And by the way, every time I see Matthias McAllister play, I think, wow, Dylan McAllister's son is old enough to play first grade. I feel so old. Of course, Dylan McAllister, what a player he was, by the way. Part of the Australia Under-17 team that reached the final of the Under-17 World Cup in 1999, that had a long professional career. Played overseas, played for Central Coast Mariners, played for Wellington Phoenix. And then finished his career at this level playing for his beloved Manly United. I think from memory he did score in his final game. In fact, he might have scored a hat-trick in his final game. And Matthias' dad for Manly United. I'll have to look that up later. But clearly, Matthias following in his dad's footsteps with finishes like what he showed right at the end of the first half. Now, it's going to be Kavanagh with this free kick, and there's 2 in the wall set by Zavadinos as Kavanagh delivers. Decent header away now. Shot's going to come in. And it's a wonderful goal. And Takumi Ofuka has scored on debut, picking up the loose ball on the edge of the box and punishing Sydney FC for leaving him open. Ofuka makes it 2-2. As we hear the dulcet tones of Frank Markey, longtime Spirit Club person on the mic, on the ground announcer's mic. It is setting up to be a great game of football to open the season here at the Arctic Circle. Because that was brilliant from Ofuka, and the Spirit's number 22 showing the kind of form that he showed at Wollongong Wolves. Finishes like that would have inspired David Perkovic to chase his signature. Well, he got it, and that decision paying instant dividends pretty much as the flag goes up from the Hillshire zone. Alana Zick on the far side. And actually, speaking of the Hillshire, before I do forget this, one of the other new signings, well, actually 2 of them, actually, maybe Zaino Alawali might be from the Hills, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But what I do know is Hugh Okubo, Spirit's number 9, was at Hills United last year, where he, well, I mean, you saw that finish from Mafuka. That's something Ua Kubo definitely has in his locker as well. As Marquez being the sweeper keeper and sending it up into the early evening sky. Foul there, committed by Spirit, but yes, Ua Kubo. Ua Kubo was just like his Japanese counterpart Takumi Fuka. Ua Kubo was impressive whenever I saw him for Hills last year, and now Spirit looking to the hillside to find their number 9. So just like
Get that side on Tim! Side on Tim! Preparation!
Sorry, stood on my headphone cord and ruined the joke I was about to make, so now I don't want to say it. That's unfortunate. Cronin throwing right by his own corner flag, and then very short one. McAllister's got a battle for possession, doesn't secure it. Now Fuka forced onto the left foot. Now here's Perez, his first meaningful action in field. Good touch from Akubo. Akubo, it's still alive. Kavanagh's fighting for it. Kavanagh's committed the foul. Sydney, well, of course, A-League Academy players taught to keep the tempo up and take it quickly. I do wonder, perhaps they took that free kick a little bit too quickly, because they almost played their way straight into trouble. And this could be a chance. Here's Kavanagh. Big save, and then a double save from Zavadinos to atone for his error. And the Sydney shot stopper kicked it straight at Corey Kavanagh. Then save from Kavanagh and Connor Starbo. It is a corner, but it could have been so much worse from a Sydney FC perspective. Zavadinos has made up for the error. And briefly, as it looks like it's going to be Jordan Perez to take this kick from the flag. We go around the grounds, of course. Last night, Manly United defeated the Mariners Academy by 5-0. Earlier today, 1-1 was the result between Western Sydney Wanderers and Mount Druitt. Also, we'll get one progress score in. 1-1 between RP and Wollongong late in the first half there. Perez delivers to the far post. Off a Spirit head, and it drops out for a goal kick. But yes, approaching half-time in Leichhardt. 1-1 between RP and Wollongong. A pair of penalties there. Jack Stewart for RPR and Lachlan Scott for the Wolves. Wow, Lachlan Scott scoring for Wollongong Wolves. Who would have thought? Earlier today at the Rudy Hill Turf Farm, yes, it was 1-1 between the Wanderers and Mount Druitt. As I just said, I think it's Meliwetu Nkomo. Apologies if I got the name wrong, but it was Nkomo scoring for the Wanderers. And then for Mount Druitt, Joey Gibbs scoring on his Mount Druitt debut with one of the most Joey Gibbs goals you will ever see. Is also Sydney trying to build in the centre circle, and that should be Cornwell's. And that Cornwell right to Alawalia, but it runs away from him. But yes, at Adensa Park late in that one, and that's a bit of a shock. The team from Sutherland, not really decisive about their name, but they've been decisive in front of goal. They're leading the boys from Adensa Park by 2-0. It's a tough one early on. It was actually Sutherland took the lead by an own goal from Adrian Vlastelica, and Daniel Wong with the second for the Sharks, or whatever they're known as this week. Then also similarly late in the game at Belmore Sports Ground, Sydney Olympic leading St George FC by 2-1. Seth Clark got the first Olympic goal, but Wollongong actually opened the scoring. There's a little bit of you didn't want him, actually. A wonderful free kick from Jaden Casella. That was the goal for St George FC. Oh, and by the way, while being a completist, might as well talk about last night's game, the very first game of the 2025 season. And the team from the Northern Beaches, Manly United, defeating Central Coast Mariners by 5-0. Tiger Kawano giving us, being the beneficiary of when playing out from the back goes wrong. He opened the scoring. And then the other goals from Aaron O'Driscoll, Farakoko, and a double from Lucas Meek. So, while at this stage, I'll actually have a light dig at fellow Football New South Wales competent Nicholas Kutniak, who did accuse Manly United of playing too many Northern Beaches footballers, which is definitely a thing to say. And let's not even go into how he said it on that podcast. But anyway, It's worth noting, Manly United, all 5 of those goals coming from players who are from outside the Northern Beach, who are from outside the Northern Beaches. Anyway. No, great work then from Cornwell. He's had a fantastic game. That slide tackle was as clean as a whistle, but the ball, Conestoga's going to give chase, but it's going to run out. In case you're wondering, if you see that kind of that light brown stuff being kicked off from time to time, it's not dirt, it's cork. This is a cork-based synthetic field, kind of the newer technology, and definitely much nicer, definitely retains less heat than the old rubber-based synthetic pitches. As someone who works at a place that has one cork-based synthetic pitch and one rubber-based synthetic pitch, yeah, you can definitely tell the difference. Off Cornwell, Marquez gathers, well, I was actually pondering a back pass, and then I remembered the rule was off Cornwell's chest, so it couldn't have been a back pass anyway. Perez. Apologies to that man, the Spirit number 5, Jordan Perez, in advance there, because David Perkovich, in his time as Spirit head coach, he signed players named Jason Perez and Jordan Gomez. So I reckon the forecast says there's a 100% chance of me butchering Jordan Perez's name this season. Apologies in advance. Harbas tracked all the way by Smith. Smith wins that little battle and then just won the free kick. So that's a foul committed by Harbas. Of course, the only recipient of a yellow card in this game, Alan Harbas. He will have to be careful. 10 minutes into the second half here, it's 2-2 between Northwest Sydney Spirit and Sydney FC. Spirit's goals coming from Michael Conestabo and Takumi Ofuko on his Spirit debut, while the Sydney goals have come from Alan Harbas and Matthias McAllister. So I do see my favourite live score app has the identities of the goal scorers as well as the times of the goals, so that's all well and good. Although, if I understand this, someone's actually listening into the stream to load these goal scorers' names onto the website. So that is very dependent on me getting this stuff right, which is definitely a risk. As Matthew clips it up towards McAllister, and he'll get the header away, but doesn't have the pace to trouble. Not Sandy Zavadinos, he's at the other end. Doesn't have the pace to trouble Chris Marquez. Now, was Furious late on Perez? He was. The slice of cheese is out already. So second yellow card. Second yellow card. Second yellow card was of the game. Rui Furious. Now, let's see. Okay. Now, Smith. Alawalia stopped by Cronin. And then that's great defending from Harbas. That ball's going to end up in field 2. I was just wondering to see, but very much behind the play there. So, good defending from Alan Harbas. In addition to the goal he scored today. Now, here we go. Well, 12.5 minutes to see a halftime sub ball. That's normal for me, actually. Hang on. Okay. Tay Headley's changed shirts at halftime. He's gone from number 10 to number 11. So let's bear that in mind, those of you who watch games while looking at the dribble app. 1-2 from Perez, and he goes from a tight angle, parried up into the air, and then caught by Zavadinos. So that really caught me out, because, I didn't see... I was thinking, I didn't see that guy. I didn't see that young man come on, then I realized it was Tay Headley. He's changed shirt, and I was... plenty of curveballs for round 1. Smith. Back to Marquez, and he switches it out to Perez. Perez. Bit of a loose one. City building from the back. That's Tyler Williams. Now, good turn from Connor Starver. I think there was a shirt pull there, but there's the run from Smith. It'll be go back. It's going to be another Sydney FC card. This one goes to Lachlan Middleton. Now, it's always an interesting thing. Free kicks from this type of position. It's just in front of the centre circle, very central, so you'd think too far out for a shot, but also hard to cross it in or try to lob it in to a teammate with any kind of pace and accuracy from centrally. Kavanagh's going to try his best, headed away. Fuka once again picks up the second ball off the set piece, but no shot into the bottom corner this time. Now Brady Smith. He goes back to Nicholas. Nicholas down the line, and Cornwell, of all people, making a run down the left wing. That doesn't make it stick. And Sydney will get the ball back.
Come all the way in, 3 lanes now, Zane. 3 lanes now, Zane. Start side there, drop.
Now, no playing out from back this time for Zabadinos. He goes long. Off frame, Dan Ullman, braving the very light drizzle, taking more photographs. Perez. Oh, actually, a bit far away, hard to see, but that wasn't an S-wing. He just let it go for a throw-in. And then, when in doubt, throw it down the line. Hey, gained 40 meters just like that. This might be another throw-in for Jordan Perez. Now, of course, the tickler, if you have interest like me and you've been a long-time Formula One fan, of course, the sight of a Jordan in gold and black does seem very fitting. And since he's come onto the field, Jordan Perez definitely been buzzing like a hornet up and down that left flank. Good header from Nicholas to Perez. Apologies. So, yes, 16 minutes. That's about the usual time it takes me to figure out a halftime sub. So, I reckon I've miscalled Brady Smith in the second half. It's Kaya Williams who came off at the break so that Jordan Perez could come on. It would be Nick. And Simon Nicholas has gone from kind of like left wing back or left midfield into the left side of that back three. And he's just received that ball from Smith. Now, Perez. By the way, shout out to all the Formula One fans there. So Spirit hoping that Jordan Perez's season goes better than Sergio Perez's last season did. As Sydney move through the centre circle with Headley. Headley rides the tackle of Kavanagh, still has possession, but then it's broken up by Smith. And here's Perez.
Combine!
Afuka eased away from the ball by Farias. Now it's direct to Harbas, flags up. Flags up. And I think Kavanagh's down, so Kavanagh may need some treatment. Physio's already waiting for the signal to come on. And there it is. So let's, as we take a brief break. Oh my goodness. I've just seen what's happened in the live score up. Well, some late action for the clean-cut look and Dominic Crini to call it a Denser Park, because the home team have scored 2 late goals to potentially steal a late result against Sutherland. The scores are the same, and yes, it won't be too long before those games, the 2 7 p.m. kickoffs, which are Rockdale versus St. George City and Marconi versus Blacktown. Those 2 games will soon be underway. So if you're the multi-screening type, you've certainly got plenty of choice. Just remember what I always say. I don't mind you multi-screening. Just mute the other tab. Don't mute mine. Speaking of other streams, it might as well be complete. Actions underway in the second tier match of the round, League One Men's, between Macarthur Rams and Hills United, which, oddly enough, Macarthur are hosting this one, in inverted commas, down on the south coast at Albert Butler Memorial Reserve. So it's that one's a long trip for Macarthur and an even longer trip for Hills United. And I mean, people from the Hillshire haven't had to commute this much since the last time I went to my office. Marquez, the restart, and I think Kavanaugh's okay as Smith lets it run for Ahluwalia. Ahluwalia, as there's a cheer on the field behind us, so somebody scored. Well done to that young woman. Perez. Fuka dropping a little bit deeper. There's Lukovic. Perez, one-on-one with Matthew. Oh, they double up on him. Sydney have identified the threat. And then it's Matthias McAllister, who's stopped by Nicholas. It's been a great signing for Spirit, Simon Nicholas. And I always love it. I always love it when teams sign players with a futsal background. Shout out to all the fine folk at SD Raiders Futsal Club. But yeah, Simon Nicholas, so seeing basically in one game plenty of what he offers. Can be kind of wide on the left or kind of more left side of central defence. Now that's Lacey, the creator for both of Sydney's goals. Now we're going to see a substitution here. Got to check the number. That might be it. It is Anthony Eunice who's getting ready to come on.
Come on, Mike. Good.
Ahluwalia, no one's really showing for the throw. It doesn't look like he's going to do a long throw, but now it's the Conestable. Quick passing. Good turn. There was a shirt pull, and it might go on. Now it's going back because, yes, that shirt pull was as obvious as some of my jokes. That was relatively straightforward to see. So Spirit free kick now. Just thinking, I might favour the left footer, but instead it's going to, if they had a left-footed player interested in taking set pieces. Instead, it is the right-footed Corey Kavanagh, who's faced up with three in the wall. So this is probably going to be dinked at the middle, but you never know. What do we see? Does go into the middle, and goes out the back to Akubo, and Akubo from a tight angle loops up over the 6-yard box and then out for a goal kick. Now, it's going to be the shortest goal kick possible from Zavadinos to Jared Middleton. Now they move out to the scoreboard side of this field, and if Spirit won it high, it's possibly danger signs for Sydney. Spirit really making nuisances of themselves, and then it's just wide, and didn't seem to be much room to get a shot away, but there was enough for Akubo. He had Zavadino sprawling. The shot rolls wide of the post. Now, as Zavadinos goes along with the goal kick, if you are a follower of either Spirit socials or Sydney FC socials, or potentially both, you would have seen last weekend former Spirit player Carl Shaw signed to the Sydney FC Academy for this season, and before he could play in this season, he made his A-League men's debut. That was a big story, and he happened to do it incredible as the stars aligned. McAllister won't get up to that. Carl Shaw making his Sydney FC debut in the game where Spirit FC were also doing the jersey presentation for their Junior Development League players, so there were plenty of Spirit folks in attendance. That was incredible. And what a moment for Kyle Shaw, who is one of the tallest blokes I've ever seen in my life, 2 meters tall. So, man, that's about as big as my ego. Harbas crossing it. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to switch the play. There's Nicholas instead for Sydney, and then he finds Perez. And Perez will cross to the near post and might break for Afuka, but this time when Afuka pounces on the defensive header, doesn't get the contact right. And I'm curious because I do wonder, Kyle Shaw played last week in Sydney's A-League men's game. What's the lineup here? Yes, Kyle Shaw, until very recently of Sydney FC, he's kept his spot in the Sydney A-League men's starting lineup, so his second game is going to be the men's Sydney derby against the Wanderers. And that's been quite some rise to prominence for the young man, the young central defender. Headley going to take one over the top. The covering run there from Perez. Plenty of attacking runs from the number 5 since he came on, but he's just as alert in a defensive sense. Now Sydney double sub about to happen. It's always good to be on the same side as the technical area. So Jay Maltz, yet another Sydney FC player who used to play for Manly United. He's about to come on in number 19. Also number 26, Dylan Rose will come on. So it's going to be Lachlan Middleton to make way, as well as Tay Headley. So in this, the 71st minute. And as I make notes for my own purposes, we'll roll back to Azaradinos.
From where? That's not where the ball went out.
Zaney, you got 2, Zaney!
Now Sydney, it's been all Spirit, well, not all Spirit, mostly Spirit for the last 15 minutes or so. And perhaps I'm being harsh, maybe only 10 minutes, but now it's Sydney with the ball trying to establish themselves in Spirit territory, but it does go back. Spirit trying to maintain their organisation. Now that's a nice turn from Lacey to Harbas, the back heel. Matthew now, and Harbas again. Harbas outside of the foot cross, and that appeal was from the field behind us. It goes out for a corner. Just quickly, as I look at this Sydney FC A-League men's lineup, I'm seeing who's an academy product. So Corey Holman, the Seaforth Junior, the club in Sydney's Northern Beaches. Corey Holman starting in the derby. He's very recent. I remember him playing for this academy not too long ago, but also look at the bench here. Adrian Segicic, Joel King, Wataru Kamijo, Jaden Kaczarski, Will Kennedy, all Sydney FC Academy products. So it's the joys of watching A-League academies like Sydney's. Let's see them in the big time one day. But anyway, here's this corner to the near post, and the scraps to be picked up there, and it swings wide. What's deflected wide? That's why. So was that Molt, I think? Full-length dive from Marquez. He couldn't reach it, but the ball goes wide. It's a Sydney corner. And well, I mean, my corner count's very unofficial. I think that's 3 each, but I have absolutely no confidence that I've been tallying that up correctly. Yeah, pretty sure it was Maltz for that shot, which led to this corner. Going to the far post, and Marquez unchallenged with an easy claim. Now everyone was back for the Spirit. Oh, everyone was back for Spirit to defend this corner. So it's a bit of patience required from the Spirit custodian before it's rolled out. Now here's Alawalia. And the line, Alawalia has committed the foul against Maltz. Let me see. So, plenty of action for Dominic Crenidi to write up at Denser Park, so it's finished 2-2 there between the hosts and Sutherland. And Spirit wanted to make a sub and weren't allowed to, which has drawn the ire of the Spirit technical area. Anthony Unius continues to wait patiently before he can come on. But yes, Dominic Crenidi, well, 2 late goals there at Denser Park, and normally that irritates riders who have most of their report done by dying stages, but Dominic Crenidi was also doing commentary. He's on the double there at Denser Park, so I suppose that's a double paycheck, and he didn't ruin his report, so that's something. Anyway, Zayn Alawalia, good first shift, I think, for the Spirit debutant, but he makes way for Anthony Younis with a shade over 15 minutes remaining in normal time. Anthony Younis, I suspect, yep, that looks like that will be a straight swap. Now Cronin has to look over the shoulder. It does get to Younis, the newly introduced player. Good first touch. Jared Middleton prevents a second touch at the expense of a corner. A tall number 14 in central defence for Sydney FC. It's just like watching Alana Kennedy back in the day. Perez is on corner kick duty. They want his left foot to whip this in and put the goalkeeper and the defenders under pressure. With the in-swinger. There's lots of tall players out there. I'm glad to be up here because, I mean, lots of people make me look short. And definitely, or these lads would. As Perez delivers from right next to the Spirit subs. Decent ball and a good header away. Now, who's going to pick up the scraps? It is Lukovic. Or does he draw it down? It's a long-range effort with Connor Starber block. He tries a second effort, which will go over the building. Behind. Let's call that of the building behind the Sydney goal. We'll call that the clubhouse end of the Arctic Circle. I suppose the other end would be, what, the Forest end? The Lane Cove National Park end, maybe? Final 15 minutes of this one. It's been an entertaining game. If you just joined us, Eric Subihan here on the mic. Assisted by Tim, who's doing the camera work for today, courtesy of our friends at Sportscast. And of course, it's on you, the joy of YouTube, as Lacey looks to clip one in, headed away by Younis. Of course, if you miss any of the action, it's as simple as clicking back on the stream and seeing what you missed. Good ball out there to Cronin. He's got a little bit of space. Supporting run as well. Cronin chops inside. Younis does not win the free kick. And now it's the turn of the Sydney bench to be annoyed at what they feel to be a decision not going their way. Yes, a wrap of the goal scorers so far. In the 3rd minute, Michael Conestabro opened the scoring for Spirit, assisted by Corey Kavanagh. 2 Sydney goals just before the break had them going to the dressing sheds with a 2-goal lead. Alan Harbas, then Matthias McAllister, both assisted by Joe Lacey. And then just after halftime, Spirit found the equalizer to make it 2-2. Takumi Afuka with a lovely first-time strike from the edge of the box. Kavanagh now. Kavanagh brought down. Kavanagh's been in the wars a little. Well, put into the wars is a bit of a stretch. He's taken some knocks today. That's probably more straightforward. This time he doesn't need the physio, so he's getting back up. And Corey Kavanagh, key player firstly of Spirit's promotion season. Promotion from League One men's into NPL New South Wales men's. That was the 2022 season. And whether he plays as a fullback or a central midfielder, he usually puts in a good performance, does Corey Kavanagh. See, now here's the other Corey for today, Corey Cronin. So both coaches have called the Corey hotline today. It's going to be Smith and Younis. Harbas. Of course, you've got to defend from the front these days. Everyone's got to defend, even the strikers. Harbas certainly has done that. He's got a yellow card for his troubles. Maltz. Not a lot of room. Maltz will slice that out of play. Now, of course, you would expect teams to be at peak fitness in round 1. It's always interesting to see how teams finish games in these early stages of the season. Spirit, who would say they did finish mid-table, but there was As there's the touch, and then the shot which hits side net in. Good work again from Akuba to create a shooting opportunity out of very little.
Hey, front foot,
But
Spirit,
yeah,
front foot. Look at the picture.
even teams that could have been set to finish mid-table, they were at the very least looking over their shoulder at the relegation battle late into the season. That's definitely the case for teams like Spirit and Manly United, even though they finished 10th and 9th respectively. But Spirit, of course, looking to improve on last season's 10th place finish, in this their third year as a top-tier team in NPL Men's New South Wales. But that position looks positively relaxing compared to Sydney. Sydney's finishing position last year, 14th, one place above the promotion relegation playoff spot. If you're less familiar with these competitions, 16-team competition. Last is automatically relegated to the second tier, and second last plays a two-leg playoff against the second place team from League One Men's, the second tier, for the right to play in the top tier next year. Of course, there's 30 rounds before we have to think about that. Perez, more defending, and in the end, safety first, he decides. Going behind for a corner. Perez back in the country after playing in Spain and Cyprus. If my memory of the excellent Spirit season preview is correct. Of course, the beauty of football does allow you to travel the world. Now, the 2-7 p.m. kickoffs are underway. That's Rockdale versus St. George City. And called by Tony Salerno, and Marconi versus Blacktown, called by the Russian Simon Hill, Alexander Molchanov. It's also finished at Belmore Sports Ground. Sydney Olympic with a 2-1 win over St. George FC. Now there's the corner over Jared Middleton. Down the back it's Dylan Rose. And Rose. Now Maltz whips it in with the left boot. Keeper's up, doesn't get there. There's a shot from Cronin, doesn't get the contact right, and it's a goal kick.
Well done, Malty.
Now, Spirit preparing another substitution, so just checking because they made a half-time sub. Yep, so this is their second window and their third substitution. Half-time subs don't count as part of your 3 allotted windows. And another good shift from Corey Kavanagh. He's replaced for the final 10 minutes or so by Lincoln Gilmore.
Chris! Chris! Chris!
Of course, the unused subs for Spirit, that's Christoph Chen, the backup keeper, as well as Marko Arambasic and Jamie Presevsky. While Sydney, they could still bring on the backup keeper Jacob Kremenkown or Joseph Kalisic, Nicholas Alfaro or Junior Conde. And then Conestable offside. I think that's, yep, the flag was up by the assistant on the near side, whose name I've absolutely forgotten. So apologies. Round 1 rustiness. Now it's another tumble, but Sydney will keep going with Lacey. Lacey around Lukovic, keeps going, brought down by Lukovic. Oh, so this could be a promising opportunity. I think a set piece opportunity which favours a left footer.
Run! Mikey, how you going?
Oh dear. Well, interesting there. Yeah. Bit of unintentional squad number changing there. I was initially told the player coming on, Junior Conde, was number 22. Then the dribble app said 23, but turns out he's on wearing number 22. So back to where we started. He replaces Matthias McAllister, who does what every strike forward dreams of doing, starting the season with a goal. Great header that was.
Both of them, get ready.
And just like watching Pete Dylan McAllister, that header from his son Matthias. Now here's the free kick for Sydney coming up. Now it's going to be Harbas, the free-player wall, and Harbas puts it over the big nets at the Lane Cove National Park end of the Arctic Circle. Oh dear, just got a work-related text at the worst possible time. Now, most commentators wouldn't answer a work-related text while doing commentary. I, however, am not most commentators. Let's see if I can do this. Multitasking never been my forte. As you see, Spirit might actually be trying to produce another sub. Not trying to make another sub, but in the meantime, soon, but in the meantime, it's Zavadinos, who has the ball for definitely a period of time. That's okay, according to the ref, Hayden Langholz.
Second ball! Good boy, Mikey! Where's that space?
There we go. Work text answered. Go me. Joe Lacey spinning around the world there. Not spinning away from Nicholas. He will, however, win the free kick. I love flag football, and that's what we're going to have for the final stages of this game. I will, of course. Personally speaking, I will be hanging around after this one, because I do know scheduled for 7:30 p.m. on the field behind us, an NPL Women's New South Wales trial, NPL Women's New South Wales first grade trial between Spirit and Western Sydney Wanderers, so I'll be hanging around for that. As I do call a lot of women's games as well, and never miss a chance to get some extra scouting in before the start of the season. Anyway, Cronin with this free kick. Kept away from Harbas, who was the closest to it for Sydney. Touch from Rose, and now potential for a Spirit counter. Outside of the footpath from Konostava to this man, Lukovic. He goes direct. It's going to be over Konostava at the back post. It's Akubo who will keep it in. Akubo. Now, and Gilmore lost his footing at the vital moment. And then Anthony Eunice, well, okay, he had to do it. What they think they call a tactical foul. By the way, he had to do it from his, that's from me speaking from a Spirit perspective, of course. But Eunice taking one for the team, and that is a late yellow card for Spirit's number 2. The first Spirit yellow card of the game, I believe, if my notes are correct. That's a big if. Eunice again, and it's going to work out for a teammate. Cushion header by Akubo. And then Akubo exchanges passes with Gilmore. Nice switch there from Akubo. That's Perez. And this is Ofuka. Ofuka will run a defender, get into the box. And the cross will go out to Eunice on the far side. By the way, if you're wondering who those players in Sky Blue are, they're the under-20s players. And the ball in, and a flying header from Akubo. Spirit convinced that was last off Sydney, but no, it is a goal kick, yes. The Spirit do play their under-20s home games after their first grade games, so the under-20s game between Spirit and Sydney is directly after this one. I think 7:45 p.m. kickoff. Now, Marko Arambasic is on as a late sub. He'll get a couple of minutes. I think that's his Spirit debut as well. He replaces Michael Konostabo. And Marko Arambasic, I do remember him spending time at Hakoa a few years ago before going overseas, I think. So he's headed straight up front. That's not full time. That's the, what's the name of this competition now? That's the NPL Women's New South Wales Under-23 trial game behind us. Another decision goes Sydney's way. Is there a late twist? And action early, courtesy of Michael Konostaba's opener for Spirit. Will we have action late? Conde trying to make that happen for the visitors. It's up, and Arambasic does not win the header. Good win from Jared Middleton. Now, Eunice improvises, and it does make its way off the heel of the tumbling Eunice to Akubo. They double up on Akubo. Did he win the corner? Now, possibly out of frustration, Akubo not getting a decision, drilled it straight at Zavadinos, but yeah, so that would have been a harsh yellow for unsporting conduct, to say the least. Now, Nicholas plays it against an opponent. Now, Arambasic with the flick, and it almost works out for Ofuka. Again, the Spirit playing for a corner goes unheeded. Football New South Wales photographer Dan Ullman. Photographers work harder than everyone else. They definitely work harder than the commentators. He's currently sitting under marquee, protected from the conditions. He's taking his shots, possibly, for the time being. Check out those later on the NPL Men's New South Wales socials. The NPL New South Wales Facebook page and the NPL New South Wales official Instagram page. As that yellow card, not sure, was that... I think that might have been Jordan Perez. I'll check that with Justin Smith after the game. But anyway, it's a Spirit yellow card in this, the 88th minute. Hayden Langholz giving the universal signal for wait for my whistle. Oh, by the way, Lindsay Edmonds, that's the assistant nearest to us. My bad. Sorry, Lindsay. Anyway, here's the free kick. Up. Off Cornwell's head. Head tennis. Which breaks for Spirit. No, been a bit of a rush pass. Oh, now, this could break out for Akubo. And Akubo wins the free kick off Conde.
More aggressive, Marco. Make sure we're set, Spirit. Preparation.
Room to run for Spirit.
Make sure we're prepared. Get on 18.
Okay, there's the signal. Thank you to Declan Woods. There'll be a minimum of 4 minutes time added on to end the game. I hope we find those subboards soon. Anyway, Spirit corner. And they're a decent team at these set pieces. Spirit. Oh, that's a crowded 6-yard box. That's as crowded as my morning commute. And the approach flick on from Lukovic, and at the ball goes, it's Akubo, and Spirit are 3-2 in front as we head into stoppage time. He'd escaped the defense at the back post. It was a clever flick on from Frankie Lukovic. Akubo. And a diving header to beat Sabandinos. And Frank Markey, the ground announcer, loved that. It's another debut goal scorer for Spirit. Takumi Afuko did it at the start of the second half. Now Akubo has done it at the end of the game. And Spirit, a team famous for scoring late goals at the Arctic Circle. Yeah. Late goals and decisive goals. Is that another one? Meanwhile, sub Nicholas Alfaro is on. Apologies, didn't see who came off.
Straight to the ball. They're going to dribble.
It's a shame. Although it does look like we're not going to see Sydney's number 4, Joseph Kalasic, today, but at least tomorrow I'll see Sydney's number 4 from the A-League women's side, Tori Trimouth, when I'm ground announcer for the A-League women game between Sydney and Western United tomorrow 5 p.m. at Leichhardt Oval, for those that are interested. And then shepherding their protection from Nicholas, I think, protecting Marquez so he can pick up the ball unchallenged. So we've had about 90 seconds of time added on, I think. Here's Akubo, the man who, for the moment, is the hero. And he's working hard to help protect their lead. Gilmore getting the encouragement from his teammates, and Lincoln Gilmore given the full name treatment. I heard a shout of, yes, Lincoln Gilmore. So, yeah, they were impressed. That's another strong tackle. The ball goes out of play. Now, there are ball kids. There's an absolutely confused spectator to my right. It's like, he can't keep the ball, so you got to give it to someone. There we go. They got it back eventually. Sydney throwing. Cronin goes backwards, but they need to go forwards to Sydney. Jared Middleton. To Tyler Williams, by the way. Ah, yes. This game, another familiar sight. Another familiar sight for you Formula One fans here, because there was a Williams at the back. 2 Williams, actually, in the first half, as that's straight towards Chris Marquez. What the late drama again. This is setting up to be another fantastic season across all the Football New South Wales competitions. This is men's round 1. We've got women's round 1 starting the weekend of Saturday, March 8th. And March 9th, earlier before the game, I saw one of the Spirit women's players, Claire Holder. I think she'll be in action later on in the trial game. It is Harbas holding it up. Now, defending needs to be done. Aaron Basic will chase, trying to make it stick just to make sure Sydney don't have it. The battle was won by Jared Middleton. Claire Holder, by the way, well done to her. Playing for the Women's Futsal National Team last month in their successful Asian Cup qualifying campaign, or the Futsal Matildas, as I like to call them. Claire Holder, one of her Futsal Matildas teammates, former Spirit and Sydney keeper Sarah Easthope. So, it's good to see. This sport never stops, especially if you're a fan of the five-a-side indoor game as well. And yes, going back to the women's comp. There's plenty of good players in that competition. Like former Spirit player Ashley Crofts. And anyway, there's the full-time whistle. And what a game it has been. And Spirit, they took the lead. They were behind as well. But they ended up winning it at the death, courtesy of new signing Yua Kubo, formerly of Hills United. It was his diving header that was the decisive moment of this game, and Spirit start their season at the Arctic Circle with 3 points. Michael Konostavo got David Perkovic's men on their way in the 3rd minute with the opening goal, but it was Sydney who took the lead into half-time, courtesy of 2 goals near the end of the first half from Alan Harbes and Matthias McAllister. But it was Takumi Afuka, another Spirit debutant, scoring in his first game for this club. He scored a wonderful goal just after halftime, and as we have just seen, it is Yua Kubo with the 91st minute winner of Frankie Lukovic's clever flick on. That's what's sealed all 3 points. Well, if you're a Sydney FC fan, it won't keep you too long, because the A-League men's derby between Sydney and the Wanderers is about to start. But other games in progress here on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. You've got Rockdale Illingdon versus St George City, called by Tony Salerno. That's currently 0-0. We've got Marconi Stallions currently leading 1-0 over Blacktown City. That one's called by Alexander Molchanov. And you've also got the later stages of the game at Lambert Park, home of Sydney's Best Barista, with RPL leading Wollongong Wolves by 2-1. But this is Eric Subihano signing off for round 1 of the 2025 NPL Men's New South Wales campaign. Well, if this is a sign of things to come, we're going to have another great year on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. So on behalf of Tin, the camera operator for Sportscast, Justin Smith, currently working on the match report we've seen, and all the others who make the things happen, especially legendary Football New South Wales media manager Mark Stavroulakis, Eric Subihana here signing off from the Arctic Circle. We hope that our collection of wrestlers has given you plenty of good vibes. If you feel bad, get a coffee. If you feel really bad, get yourself a tattoo. I'm off to watch the women's trial between Spirit and the Wanderers on Field 2, but take care and we'll see you next time.